Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shaki. I make lifestyle content, travel content, just sharing about my life and different things that I've been through, poetry, spoken word, a wide variety of things. So welcome. Thank you for clicking and watching. If you're joining my channel, thank you for returning to my video. Go ahead and click like and comment and subscribe down below. So I haven't shared much about my dating life online, and I think that's been kind of intentional. But I wanted to come on here and share why I've been single for over a year and why I just took a step back, from dating. And yeah, I want to say maybe it's been something like 17 months, something like that. It's been over a year. October will make 2 years. And honestly, I went through a pretty tumultuous, toxic, crazy relationship. And it's so crazy because I really thought I was going to marry that person. But there were red flags that I ignored and things that I hadn't been aware of, like love bombing. I definitely think that he was a narcissist, potentially even like psycho or sociopath where they don't really feel emotions. And I'm a very emotional person. So I almost feel like I was research a little bit for him, but I think it ended up with him having a kid that he hid from me throughout our whole relationship and time talking. And I think it was like a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old child. There were multiple other women that he was talking to and entertaining, telling them the same things he was telling me, We were living together at one point. So in my mind, I'm like, he doesn't have time to date other women. Sure enough, he did. So to make a long story short, we met online, we met on Bumble, and he was really into tech. And so I'm thinking, okay, nerdy black guy, hey, I didn't think that the tech nerdy black guys were really out here cheating like that. I'm thinking more faithful, good guy. And we met and I was like, he'd be a really good friend, how I felt after the first date, And there wasn't a lot of attraction there, I can't lie, but I was like, he's cool, he's cool. And I think he felt that I was drifting away a little bit. And he was like, man, he's not from the Bay Area. He's like, all these girls that I meet in the Bay Area, after the third date, or we never make it to the third date, and then they ghost me. And then so that made me feel like a little guilty, like, okay, let me at least go on a third date with him, And the third date, I will admit, he gave me a candle, brought flowers. We had a really cute date. And it was cute. So I was like, okay, I'm like, he'll grow on me, right? And his MO or his thing was, let's spend as much time as we can. And it's funny because if you know the mere exposure effect in psychology, the more you're exposed to something, the more likely you are to like it. Like you hear a song on the radio and you're like, man, this song is trash. And then you keep hearing it and then you sing into it and you dance into it. That's the mere exposure effect. So I think he was very manipulative and tactful in the way that he did things. And so after we met for 4 months, we dated. And I thought those were the best 4 months of my life. We had all these different experiences. He showered me with gifts and, words of affirmation. And gift giving and words of affirmation are two things that I'm really big on. And we created all these memories together. And he's also, I write poetry. He is an artist and, draws. And so he was painting me, different art and writing me poems in addition to buying me perfume and all these gifts and bracelets. And so I was like, oh, I'm being spoiled. This man really loves me, right? And so I ended up having to go abroad to Ghana for 4 months. And so I was like, how are we going to do this long distance? And he's like, when you come back from Ghana, we'll go on a trip to celebrate your graduation together. And by Valentine's Day, I'm going to propose to you because you're the one. So mind you, I'm in Ghana. It's a 7-hour time difference. And he's sending me videos of him confessing his love to me and all these sweet little nothings. It was really just talk, right? So that way he's doing it at 12 midnight. So when I wake up at 7, I see the videos. So I'm like, my man, right? He's sending money while I'm out there. And so for work, he had to go to Senegal. And basically he paid to fly me out to Senegal to see him. Halfway through, make a long story short, we weren't connecting like we did before, and I found out that he was cheating with one of his co-workers. And I thought he worked for an all-male org, but there was a couple women in the organization, and something in my intuition just told me it wasn't right, because when I saw them, he didn't introduce me. The girl was all up in his face, and I'm like, do you see me here? And so we got in a big argument. He denied everything. Okay, so sorry I had to change location. I hope you can still see me. But I was saying that he was basically cheating with his coworker. And again, certain people will bring out toxic sides of you. You know, I've never been one to go through a man's phone or reach out to another woman like that. Like, that's not normally me. But when you very much say crazy in love, like, because I knew he was lying. And so I reached out to the girl, and turns out he was telling all of his coworkers and people there that I was from Ghana. I was his Ghanaian friend that was crazy about him and came out to Senegal, flew myself out to see him. Crazy, right? When he paid almost $1,000 for me to come out there. So she ends up sending me screenshots where he's like, she's asking if she can come with us to the beach and like come with us to do things, because he's painting it as I'm his friend. And, you know, she was like, oh, I think you're on a date or something. He's like, nah, you tripping. She just my friend. I'm really trying to take you on a date, you know? And she was like, I'm so stressed. When we get back, I need to go on a trip to this place. And he's like, let's plan it then. Let's book it. I'll fly us out, you know? And so all these things of like downplaying that we were together, he's like, I'm trying to take you on a date, talking to her. And I was like, wow, you know, wow, you're telling me this is our first vacation, first time out the country together of many. And I just couldn't believe it. So I ended up blocking him. He blew up my phone and I blocked him. And then on my Apple Watch, I could see him basically threatening to take his life if I didn't respond. I'm like, that's real manipulative. And so he started zelling me money to talk to him and apologizing. And I didn't. But mind you, after that, I started praying morning and evening. I wrote down all my goals and things that I was praying for, and I would sleep on top of it. I put it under my pillow and then review it every morning and night as I would pray. I started working out and going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. I lost like 50 pounds in Ghana. So it kick-started my self-healing and really focusing on myself and just seeking out spirituality too. So honestly, like, it broke my heart, and I was, you know, sad afterwards, you know, for a while, but it motivated me and put a fire under my ass to like, okay, let me work on me now. Let me get me together. And so fast forward, I enjoy the rest of my time in Ghana, and I end up going to Amsterdam and London. I come back to California, and I was in a time of need. I needed a ride and no one else could give me one, and I knew he would. So I reached out. Also, another time I was in LA, I was stranded. I was not doing good. He ended up driving out there to get me. So he had this way of like rescuing me or being there when I needed help when no one else was. And I'm not used to receiving a lot of support and help, or, you know, even the gifts and the money and things like that. So it was different for me. We ended up living together for a little bit while I was trying to get on my feet, and, you know, borderline, you know, basically homeless for a little bit. And, yeah, so we got back together. I was like, this time, be honest with me about everything. If you're lying about anything, let me know just up front so we can move forward from this. I'm not lying about anything. I want to be with you. You're the one. You know, we're going to start a family and have our first kids together. I'm going to marry you, all these things. We even looked at wedding rings, and I was like, I want this. And, yeah, I really thought he was telling the truth. And then now when we're living together, I'm like, there's no way he has time to talk to other women. We're always together, right? Except for when he goes to work. So there were times where I'd noticed he'd get calls at strange hours, and I'm like, who is that? And he'd be like, a friend, whatever. My intuition is big, and I'm like, no, it's someone he's talking to. So I ended up, we exchanged passwords. And again, every once in a while I'd look through his phone. This is not at all my temperament. I'm very much, if I have to look through the phone, I don't want you. And it just brought that out in me, right? And so, because the trust, I'm like, how are we rebuilding trust? You're not doing anything to rebuild trust other than, you know what I mean, doing nice things for me, but how am I actually going to trust you moving forward? And once that trust is broken, it's hard to rebuild. And once someone's a liar, they're always going to be a liar, I feel like. And there were signs too in the beginning where he'd lie about little things and my intuition would be like, he's lying. Or just where I couldn't fully 100% feel comfortable being goofy or being free or dancing or even having him take pictures of me. It was like, that was kind of my intuition letting me know maybe this person isn't safe, right? For me to fully embrace who I am around him. But after some time, I ended up getting some numbers out of his phone because he was trying to tell me that one of the people who called was his guy friend, but I went in his phone and he has notes under their name, which, mind you, he had a whole note on me, and I was like, why do you keep notes? And he's just like, just to remember things about you. No, he kept notes because he was talking to multiple girls, and not to get them confused, and to remember what they liked, their shoe sizes, their clothes sizes, different things to remember about the different women. And so I saw he had notes under somebody. We'll say her initial is C. I'm not gonna actually say. And it was notes, and I was like, why would you be keeping notes on your guy friend? Like, this is obviously a girl. So I ended up texting both of the numbers from my phone, and one of them responded. It was just got out of hand. He ends up asking me a few days later, hey, did this girl text you talking about something? And he basically let me know verbatim what I texted her. And when he came home from work, I was like, let me see the screenshots, because he said his friend sent it to him. He could never show me the screenshots, which I thought was weird because he'd repeat sometimes things that I would text other people, and I'm like, oh, we're just in sync. No, I'll get to that part of the story in a minute. But she ends up calling him on Instagram, and I'm like, if you care about me at all, you'll let me answer this call. And so I answer, and come to find out, she didn't know we were living together, but come to find out, he's been talking to her for 3+ years or something. He has a baby mama in Texas and a 3-year-old daughter. When he went home, he went for his daughter's birthday. He told me his grandma was sick. Like, who jokes about family members being sick anyways? And she ends up texting me like a picture of, you know, welcoming the baby in, and the baby and the baby mom. And I just couldn't believe it. And I asked her if she knew about the coworker he was messing with. She didn't. And she was like, I've been holding him down for this long, and then he goes and has a baby on me, and now he's talking to you. And I knew nothing about her, and she's bringing up all this personal information that I shared with him, but flipping the script. He told her that I hacked his iCloud account. Mind you, I'm not at all tech savvy. Like, it's actually bad. I should be better with technology. And come to find out, I don't know if he hacked my iCloud account or my phone, but after I left, my phone was tripping. And so I asked my friend Maddie, I went to her house, and I was like, girl, I turned my phone off and it turned back on its own. Like, maybe I'm tripping, let me put it by you. She's like, no, it did it again. So like, all these weird things were happening, and I'm like, my phone's hacked. So I had to go to T-Mobile, I had to go to the Apple store. I ended up having to do all this stuff and had to deal with that. Mind you, I had just started a new job. This was like my 2nd or 3rd week at a new job. And I go on my computer and I'm trying to get into my Gmail. I'm logged out. So then we get IT, and IT's trying to help me. IT's like, we keep getting kicked out. And I'm like, really? To hack my work computer too is crazy. Like, you're trying to jeopardize my money, my well-being, like everything. It was crazy. So I ended up kind of couch hopping, and had some friends help me out, and then I got my own apartment. When I got my own place, it took a while just to build stability, and I think I ended up taking a whole year just focusing on myself and being single, because that last situation, that last relationship was so toxic, you know. And he reached out a few more times through email because he was blocked on everything, and I ended up blocking him on email too. Come to find out, maybe like, I don't know, 10 months later, my car accidentally ran into something, like on the side of my car, I hit something, and something falls on the ground, and my intuition's telling me, girl, that's a tracker. But I'm like, no, I'm not sure. So I take a picture, put it in ChatGPT, and ask. ChatGPT is like, this is a man-made tracker. I'm like, ain't no way this man put a tracker on my car. Mind you, he had worked on my car a little bit, or so-called worked on it. I don't know what he did. But I'm just like, the level of crazy, like, you never know the lengths people will go through, and just the ways that he lied. And I had no idea, like, just was so deceitful. And it's just crazy that I saw none of it. Like, it seemed so perfect. So he was really slick and smooth with it all. And so I just couldn't believe, and I couldn't decipher what was real from what was fake. And like, how could someone who knew that I had been hurt so much in my life inflict more pain and hurt? You know what I mean? So it was a lot to heal from and overcome and get over, because this is a person I thought I was going to marry and start a family with. Especially being in my late 20s, I was like, okay, like, I'm, 27, I don't have to date anymore. I found my person. I've always wanted to get married and have kids, the whole nine. So when I got my own place, it was my first time at 27 having my own apartment. And it was the first time that I had ever provided safety for myself, where I'm not depending on someone else to pay the bills, who's calling the shots. Like, I 100% created an environment where I could relax, my nervous system could be calm, and I could really get in tune and in touch with me. And I took that time to heal. Like, I did trauma recovery therapy. I got into hobbies that I hadn't, done in years, like improv and acting classes. Yoga became a really big part of my life. Hiking again, writing poetry. I published my second book. I intentionally spent time with myself. And I had a ball. Like, I forgot how much I loved my own company. And I was so happy and in my own world that I wasn't even focused on dating. I was like, I refuse to get on the apps again and meet someone else on an app who's crazy. I was really just focusing on me. And I think when you spend time with yourself, it allows you to get to know yourself better. And I literally have Love Yourself tattooed on my wrist, but I was on this deep self-love journey of, let me heal my inner child, the inner child of me who's been through trauma, who's been through things, who's hurt and wounded and needs attention and needs love, and really build my self-confidence and love who I am at this present moment, not when I lose the weight, not when I make the certain amount of money, right? Not when I have this car, not when I have certain accomplishments, but who I am now in the present moment. And it really was a really beneficial year for me. And so I think now that I'm starting to date again, it's almost been 2 years later now, I am back on the apps. And to tell you the truth, dating in the Bay Area is not for the weak. I'm dating again, and I'm having fun with it, and meeting men who really are sweet and want to do right by me, so it seems in the beginning. So I think now that I've had time since I haven't been dating, it's given me time to really not only write down what I want in a man, but also the experience of having just more dating experience, period, to potentially be able to identify the red flags in the beginning. So I needed that time to heal, though. I needed that time to focus on and work on me. And I think it's so important to not hop from relationship to relationship and really take time in between to heal and focus on yourself. But I think now, being fully healed and over that and dating again, I'm at a point where I want to have fun, and I think enjoy dating, enjoy being wined and dined, until I find the partner that's really for me. Because I think after we get out of a breakup, we'll tell ourselves like, oh, I'm never trusting man again, or I'm not going to date anymore, or I'm just going to focus on me and I'm going to be single forever, and all these things, right? And now I'm at a place to where I'm having fun and I'm entertaining it. And I have standards now of how I want to be treated and what I will and what I won't allow. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that for anybody who's gone through a toxic breakup, or who's dating again. I think it's also important, ladies, to allow men to be men and lead. I think it's important to not always take initiative and take the first step of like, oh, I'm gonna text him or I'm gonna call him. Let them lead. Let them reach out when they want to reach out. And the energy of like, we do not chase, we attract, And so I'm really trying to lean more into my femininity and my feminine energy of receiving, and not my masculine energy of doing, because I find that being the oldest daughter and being a woman who's hyper independent, I am the type of person who's like, I'll do it on my own and I won't ask for help. And now I'm learning it's okay to ask for help. Ideally, I want a man to come into my life and make it better than what it was without them in it, because if you're not making it better, why are you here? And I don't just mean like financially, but like even having someone to talk to and being there for me emotionally, or giving me experiences on dates and we're having fun and a good time, or we're working out together and you're helping me grow, or we're praying together, or you are buying me nice things and we're really growing and healing together, or you're teaching me something, right? I think some things my last relationship taught me too is that love isn't enough. You need respect and loyalty. Communication is huge. You've got to have communication and someone who's willing to be honest and open with you. Chemistry isn't enough without compatibility. Consistency matters, shared values matter, and the right relationship shouldn't cost you your peace. It shouldn't be chaotic and causing you stress and drama. It should feel peaceful and aligned, So, I think taking a year off from dating really forced me to face myself, and I needed that time. And I encourage you to take time to intentionally get to know yourself and take yourself out on solo dates too. I think that's so important. It helped me heal, and like, I still believe in love. I believe in love again, and I'm open to finding it, but I think I'm just no longer willing to abandon myself in the process of it. So, all my ladies out there who are like, F men, get money, like, I'm not necessarily like that. I do believe that like women need men and men need women, especially black men and black women. I think social media can try to pit us against each other, but we do need each other. So I think it's just about being open to finding the right person for you, and not being so negative about it, and really just, being open to it. So let me know your thoughts and things you've learned while dating down below too. Drop down below in the comments advice you'd have for women in their 20s who are dating, and just now kind of beginning to date. But I think it's important to know what you want when you're dating, know what you're looking for, have your non-negotiables of what you will tolerate and what you want. Be clear on your needs versus your wants, right? To know what you need from a relationship and what your wants are. But also to decenter men and not have dating and a man be the focal point of your life, but to still have your hobbies and personal goals and things you're working towards outside of dating and outside of men. So those are just some things that I've learned and kind of where I'm at on my journey. I'm open to love. I'm about to turn 30 in December, and I've heard that dating in your 30s is better than dating in your 20s. So I'm excited to find out. And see, but so far it's been fun. It's about to be summer, and I'm excited just to kind of have fun and enjoy life as the seasons progress, while I continue working on myself and working towards my goals and my own plans and dreams that I have for myself outside of dating. So just wanted to share that. Ladies, be careful who you get in a relationship with. Believe people when they show you and they tell you who they are, because a lot of people will try to put on this persona to be the man that they think you want them to be in the beginning, but over time they can't maintain it and hold that up, you know. So I hope you have better luck in love than I have. And also, don't look at all these people getting married and having kids and compare yourself like, oh, my biological clock is ticking, I should have this by this time. We all have different journeys and timelines, so just be patient and know that it'll happen for you when it's time for it to happen, but that you definitely still can enjoy life without all of that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you're single right now, if you're dating, and how your dating experiences has been. If you're in the Bay Area, let me know your thoughts on dating in the Bay Area. I've noticed a lot of men that I date are not from here. They're from somewhere else and they've moved here because Bay Area men mentality is just not the best from what my experience has been. But also I want to move out of the Bay Area, so who knows, my husband's probably not even out here, to tell you the truth. But yeah, let me know in the comments what dating's like for you, wherever you're living at, and like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.